going to start our call off today with a very uncomfortable question. If Instagram shut down tomorrow, if Meta froze your account, if your ads account was disabled overnight, how would your business survive? Because for a lot of med spa owners, the honest answer is that it wouldn't. And that's not because you're bad at marketing. It's because you were never taught how to own your audience. I'm Juliana Wasco. Most people call me Jules. I am the VP of Marketing here at Diamond Accelerator. I specialize in helping medical aesthetics practices build scalable, profitable, multi-million-dollar brands. And I've personally overseen millions in ad spend, and I've helped practices go from unpredictable months to consistent revenue. I've watched med spas grow from relying on Instagram likes to owning real databases of tens of thousands of patients, right? And I've unfortunately also watched terrifying things happen over and over again, such as accounts getting shut down, reaching disappear, apps that stop performing, algorithm changes, and suddenly your business feels fragile when those things happen, right? And here's the truth that might sting a little bit. If your audience only exists on social media, you do not own it. You are renting it. And that rent can be raised or revoked anytime. So today, I want to give you clarity, control, and confidence. By the end of this training, I want you to know exactly what you need to do to build an audience of your own, an audience that converts, that you can communicate with anytime, an audience that will protect your business from the chaos, right? The platform chaos. So let's jump into it. One of the biggest myths that I hear in this industry is that email is dead. And I want to be very honest with you here. Email in and of itself, not dead. What's dead is random, unintentional email marketing. Email is still one of the only channels where you fully own that relationship. When someone gives you their email address, they're giving you permission to speak to them directly. There's no algorithm deciding on whether your message gets shown, right? There's no platform that limits your reach, and it goes straight to the person who raised their hand and said, yes, I'm interested, email me about it. And in medical aesthetics, that matters more than pretty much any other industry, right? Because our patients are not impulse buyers. They're making emotional, financial, and personal decisions. They're thinking about trust, safety, and confidence, outcomes. That means they need to be nurtured, they need education, and they need that reputation, right? You need to stay top of mind in multiple channels. So email allows you to guide someone from awareness to action in a way that social media can't, and in a way that you own and that you can keep showing up in. So here's where most med spas are missing the mark on that. They collect emails with no strategy, no segmentation, and no true purpose, right? So everyone in your database is getting the same messages, regardless of whether they're interested in Botox, weight loss, hormones, or aesthetic skin rejuvenation, right? And then when conversions are low and no one's clicking or booking from your emails, it gets blamed, right? But email isn't the problem. The lack of structure is. A solid email marketing strategy means knowing who is on your list and why they're there. It means creating the right tags based on how they found you, what they were inquiring about, and what services they care about and where they are in that journey. When email is done correctly, it becomes your quietest but most consistent revenue driver. So this is where you can warm up your leads before consultations. You can reactivate past patients. You can sell those higher ticket packages by simply educating on them. And you can also fill your events without having to panic post too much. Although, we're not completely getting rid of social media, so stay active there. But if Instagram disappeared tomorrow, email would be how you communicated, you continued educating, and you continued to sell, right? So that's why it's non-negotiable. Everyone has an email address. Now, I know a lot of people are probably thinking, well, what about text messages? Text messaging is also an extremely important piece of that puzzle. And no question has a higher open rate than your emails will. Having phone numbers is just as not probably more important than emails, right? But the problem is that you cannot educate via text. So right now you're probably doing a lot of brand building through your social media, right? You're doing a lot of educating on your social media. But if you got shadow banned, you could lose that opportunity, right? So echoing that content that you're building to specific lists in your email database is how you start really nurturing on an omnipresent strategy for marketing. So don't recreate the wheel, but start really implementing and getting strategic in how you're sending those messages out. Okay, I'm going to jump into our next segment here, but we're going to come back to emails. So we're going to talk about SEO now, because this is also one of the most misunderstood and underutilized growth levers in your practice. SEO is not about blogging for fun. It is about blogging strategically, right? Not about random keywords. It's not about vanity traffic. It's about capturing people who are already looking for what you offer. So I want you to take a second and think about the mindset of someone on Instagram versus someone on Google. On Instagram, people are doom scrolling, right? It's late at night, they're in bed, they're doom scrolling, they're trying to find a quick laugh, that dopamine hit, they're sending reels off to their husband and his DMs, right? You're interrupting their attention. You're trying to capture it, right? And on Google, people are searching. They have that intent, right? They're actively seeking help or solutions to their problems. Now, that difference really matters in terms of what you do with those people and those clicks, right? So on Google, someone searches Botox near me, hormone therapy for women, medical weight loss clinic. They're not browsing. They're looking for a solution. Are you ranking number one first and foremost, right? If not, that's your first step. SEO allows you to meet people at that exact moment. But here's where most med spas are missing their opportunity. They're focused on ranking pages, adding blogs, right? But they're not thinking about what happens next. What's that next step? Traffic without capture is a wasted effort. Ranking a service page is only half of the job, right? Creating a blog, getting those keywords on your site, that's just the first step. We have to think beyond that when we're considering what your SEO strategy is going to be. So converting that visitor into a contact should be your first goal. That is where lead magnets and brand builders really become critical. A lead magnet isn't just some free download, right? Some bro marketer free download, learn about X, Y, and Z, or find the 5 things to anti-aging, yada, yada. In medical aesthetics, a lead magnet should be like a pre-consultation experience for you. And it should do 3 things. It should educate your patient, qualify them, and position you as the expert. The best performing lead magnets in the industry are diagnostic in nature. So here are some examples of that. Skin analysis assessments, right? Aesthetic consultation surveys, hormone imbalance questionnaires, weight loss readiness evaluations, wellness lifestyle audits. Those work because they feel personal, and people love learning about themselves. Like, we all love knowing something about us, right? I know every single person here has probably done a quiz online. We love that clarity and we love feeling guided instead of sold to. So let's walk through how this would actually work in practice, right? Step one is that intentional SEO page creation. So you have individual service pages that are optimized for specific high intent searches. Nothing like Botox fillers, injectables, and Sculptra, right? A single page that tries to rank for everything is not going to get you where you want to be. You want to create focused service pages on your website with clear intent. Each page should clearly answer who it's for, what problems it solves, why your approach is different, and what the next step is. I'm going to pause here and go back because I know someone's going to ask me about this at the end, right? What should you do for your injectables pages? And I want you to consider what people are going to search for, right? So Botox near me versus lip filler near me, biostimulator, Sculptra, Radiesse, that's a completely different search, right, guys? That right there is 3 pages. Botox, fillers, biostimulators. Each one should have its own dedicated page. And each one should have prominent, very clear book now buttons, right? It should lead people to booking a consultation. However, not everyone's going to book a consultation from the first time that they see your page, right? They're going to need a little bit more education. They need a little bit more nurturing and love. And in order to give them that, you want to guide them to booking with you, create a pop-up, right? With a lead magnet that then walks them through. Do they need lip filler? Do they need, facial balancing, right? Give them that questionnaire as a pop-up on the page. For example, take our personalized wrinkle assessment, to see which treatment is right for you. Again, you still want buttons and calls to action that ask them to schedule a hormone consult, but you want pop-ups that will say, take our hormone health quiz to understand what could be impacting energy, weight, and mood. It removes the pressure and it increases the engagement while also capturing their attention, right? Now, extra bonus points if you can find lead magnets and create lead magnets and quizzes that are specific to each search, right? So having one on the Botox page for your anti-wrinkle assessment, but also having one on your HydraFacial that then asks them to fill out their questionnaire for acne, right? How to cure your acne or figure out the one thing that's causing your acne, right? On the HydraFacial page. Each one of those should lead them into a completely different workflow on the back end, or a drip campaign, nurture campaign, whatever you call it. You'll want them to then be enrolled in multiple emails, multiple steps, right? That solve that problem that they initially opted in for. And that is how, when I spoke earlier about segmenting your database on emails, delivering them with messaging that they actually care about hearing, that's actually going to guide them on a journey to booking with you. That's how you do it, right? Creating service pages around that, creating a lead magnet to get them to opt in, and slowly guiding them until they book with you. That's a step 2 data collection. So someone completes your assessment for the survey, you're collecting a lot more than an email address. You're collecting their primary concern, their level of urgency, their readiness to invest, their treatment interests, right? It's very powerful information for your med spa. And it's extremely important to segment these opt-ins, these leads, this information based on how they answer these questions. And you can do it automatically. This doesn't require more than just getting it set up, getting it built out, right? And once it's built out and running, then it's just automatically collecting and segmenting for you. Then you can focus on, oh, well, anyone who was, who has a poor diet and selected that they eat a lot of sugar on our acne assessment, maybe we're going to show them a weight loss blog, right? Weight loss before and afters in an email. That's how you really start pulling it together, by identifying how you can segment those lists and email and text message them. Because now instead of guessing like what to say next, your marketing can speak directly to their situation. So your step 3 is that automated follow-up. Once their information enters your CRM, you're automatically placing them into that drip campaign. It aligns with their results. So if someone indicates concerns about fine lines, they are receiving education on everything that you have to offer week by week, right? This is how you build that trust before a single conversation happens. It's how you shorten your sales cycle. By the time someone's booking with you from these emails, they already understand your philosophy to treating their problem, and they already trust your expertise. They already feel aligned with your brand. So let's talk about another important piece about SEO. I want you all to keep in mind that it's not instant, it's compounding, right? Paid ads do stop the moment that you turn them off, but SEO continues to work longer after that page is published. That's why SEO should never exist in isolation. It feeds your own audience. Every SEO win should lead you to an email subscriber, a new contact, a CRM record, right? That's how organic traffic becomes an owned asset instead of a fleeting visit. And the mindset shift that I want you to take with you is that SEO is not about chasing Google. It's about serving your future patients better than anyone else. When you combine clear service pages, diagnostic lead magnets, intentional data capture, and automated nurturing, you're no longer relying on luck or algorithms. You're building a system, and that system is what scales. However, social media is not the ugly, red-headed stepchild, right? Like, social media is absolutely worth investing in just as much. I'm not fear-mongering. You're not going to lose Instagram tomorrow, right? However, I encourage all of you to think about how you can use social media the smart way, to really own that audience as well. Because if TikTok is banned and you can't get back to it, right? How are you going to get those followers to your next place, to your next subscription, to your next social media, to the next big thing? So Instagram is not a database, right? It's a discovery platform. And this mistake happens when social media becomes a foundation instead of that top of the sales funnel. Every DM, every comment, every interaction should be a bridge that moves someone into your system. So adding automation into this is going to be a really big and easy lever that you can pull before the next year to make sure you start owning your database. So when someone sends your med spa a DM, your CRM should automatically respond, asking for their email and their phone number. When they respond with that information, your CRM should automatically create a contact record that has all of that information in it. And then we're automatically enrolling them in those email nurture sequences, in those text blasts, in our monthly special texts, right? Not feel salesy. It feels organized, professional. It feels like a medical brand, right? Automation removes that inconsistency and it ensures that no opportunity is lost. It allows your team to focus on actual conversations instead of a manual data entry from here to our CRM, right? 99.9% of CRMs will do this for you automatically. Again, it's just something you have to set up. By this time next year, you could have 400 more people if that's how many followers you gain, right? Into your CRM, into your database, and your email subscriber. And that's something that you're already doing. So if someone interacts with your brand and disappears, it's not a marketing failure, it's a systems failure. Again, build your system to scale. Another part of that is making sure that your phone calls, right? You're capturing all of those leads for everyone who comes in, makes a phone call to your office. You should be automatically adding them into that CRM as well, right? Your front desk, whoever's answering the phone should be asking name, phone number, email, and putting them into the system if they're not already. So Those small leaks, if they're not doing that, they add up to many missed follow-ups, untracked conversations, right? Over time, they can quietly drain revenue. So I really encourage you to build that into your sales script and make sure that you're also adding them into your CRM when they call your spa. And I want to talk about risk protection, right? Like future-proofing your brand for next year, for 2026. The strongest brands that we see in medical aesthetics, the largest, most well-known med spas, they have an omnipresent strategy, right? They show up on Google, in inboxes, on phones, on social media, on their website. They are not reliant on one single channel. So if one dips, their business stays stable. And that's how you future-proof your med spa for 2026, guys. Your audience should live in your CRM, your email list, your SMS database, your website traffic, your SEO ecosystem. Social media supports the system, but it shouldn't be the only one that you're relying on, right? And that goes both ways. If you're relying solely on Google to provide get your leads, you should be focused on building that same influence and audience in other places, right? This is not just about if social media is the only one. So when you build an omnipresent brand, the confidence in that brand changes, right? Your decisions improve, your revenue stabilizes, and you stop feeling like you're at the mercy of Meta and Zuckerberg and all of those people who are constantly changing the algorithm on you. So stay omnipresent. Focus on systems that are going to consistently compound and build your email marketing database. I'm going to open the floor to a few questions because we got a little bit of time here. Let's see. I haven't seen too many questions come in, but I do see, let's see, John Walker Digital, the Dallas Esthetician, Rich Revenue, Caroline Consultant, everyone who's joining us from Instagram. Hey, Tiff. Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for joining. Okay. I got a question. So what if my email list is very small or kind of a mess, right? No segmentation in there. I totally get that. That's a lot more common than you think, and it's not a problem. I want to make a joke here, so bear with me. Size does not matter when it comes to your email list. I would rather see a med spa list with 800 well-tagged, well-segmented contacts than a list of 15,000 people who you know nothing about, right? So when you know what someone's interested in, when they last engaged, the service that they inquired about, and where they are in their journey, you can communicate with them with intention. So your email list is not about volume, it's about relevance, and relevance is what drives those bookings. All right, I got one more. Time for one more question, and then I'll close us out here. So let's see. What kind of lead magnets actually work in aesthetics and wellness? This is a really good question. Anything that feels personalized, diagnostic, and educational, right? So surveys, skin assessment, wellness evaluation, hormone imbalance questionnaires. Those do three things. They capture that attention and they provide value to the patient, and they're feeding your business with data about them. So those are by far any kind of like quizzes, assessments, questionnaires are 100% the way to go. They're what the biggest med spas in the country are utilizing right now for lead magnets. And that's absolutely the most important place to spend your time going into 2026 is building lead magnets and questionnaires that'll feed into your CRMs. All right, guys, I'm not seeing any other questions, so I'm going to close us out today. Here is what I want you to walk away with. Owning your audience is not complicated. It's intentional. You need real email marketing strategies, SEO that captures high intent traffic, lead magnets that collect data, and CRM automations that move people off of social. This multi-channel presence is how you'll protect your business, scale, and build something very sustainable. You're not behind, you're just ready to reach that next level. So med spas that will win in the next 5 years are the ones who stopped renting their audience and start owning it. Thank you all for trusting me with your time today. I hope you all take this information and go and build something that lasts. If you love this training, make sure you share it with your team or another med spa that could benefit. You can always catch this replay on our YouTube channel. And to get access to more free training that will help grow your med spa, visit our link tree in our social bio and be sure to join us live every Wednesday at 2:30 Central Time. Same time, same place, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thank you all so much again, and I hope to speak soon.